Now, of course, there's one big objection to this, right? Which is the core of the Joker's motive, or the core set piece of the Joker is the two boats. A boat of prisoners and a boat of civilians. And they're both given a bomb, which will blow up the other boat, right? Here is where the movie turns away from the truth that it has led itself to, right? So what happens is, of course, right, on the prisoner boat, the guards have guns, and they're pointing them at the other one, and, you know, the prisoners are about to riot and take it over, and so, a big, evil, tattooed black guy goes up to the warden and says, you know, you should give me that detonator, and I can do what you know you should have done a long time ago, right? And so there's, life, scary, right? He's the very image of white America's fear of criminality. And so he takes the detonator and he throws it off the boat. Because he knows, right, that's what should have been done. And so, right, if one of the boats isn't detonated by 12 o'clock, then the Joker will detonate both of them. So, of course, the criminals get rid of the explosive. And this is, at least to everyone I've ever talked to, eminently plausible. People find it eminently plausible that a criminal could say, you know what, we had our chance, we're not worth it, or if this is the choice between us and purely innocent people, right, we will throw away the detonator. But here's where the movie becomes dishonest. Everyone I've ever talked to believes that in a second, the civilian or regular or innocent people would blow up the boat. And in fact, the movie makes a great to-do about it. That in fact there's this guy who, says, I'm willing to blow it up, we should blow it up. And if I'm not mistaken, the vote actually comes in favor of blowing it up. So if the film were honest, it would blow it up, right? But of course, no. This is the absolute dishonesty of the film. Because these civilians, if we look at the actual form, have already blown up the criminals. The very act of criminalizing large portions of your society tell us that the innocent, right, the innocent, are already willing to blow up the boat. They've already done it. They've already done it by criminalizing. And so throughout the entire film, everyone I talked to has seen this point as an absolutely dishonest core of the film. So, of course, and then from here the film, of course, disintegrates. Because the Joker, upon seeing his experiment fail, then decides to blow up both of them. But we know the real truth of the Joker is that he knows what we know, which is in mirroring society to us, which is that we are willing to brutalize and criminalize others, right? This is what we are. This is the decision that is always presented to us. And so the Joker exists to present ethical decisions to the society. Just a brief little bit more. It's worth noting his speech to Harvey Dent, right, where he says he's an agent of chaos. And of course, why is he an agent of chaos? Because it's fair, right? And certainly not the most optimal revolutionary outlook, but there is a grim equality to be found in the face of terror. And so in this case, right, except for this dishonest core of the movie, of the two boats, we should actually read the Joker as an emancipatory egalitarian, rather than a simply insane terrorist. The final example I'll use is Lelouch, the Rebellion. It's set in an alternate world where the Spanish Armada, I believe the Spanish Armada was successful. And so Queen Elizabeth fled to the United States, and in doing so, created the Empire of Britannia, which essentially is the United States, which from the very start of the series has imperialized and taken over Japan. Well, one of the aristocrats of Britannia, Lelouch, is simply a student, as all Japanese anime require that everyone be a student. And he's a student who plays chess and whatnot, and is dragged into this event where he's granted this power of command from this mythical figure. And he can look at anyone and he can command them to do one act that he wants. Well, initially, he simply uses this for his own gain, but it begins to be revealed that his family itself is destroyed by Britannia. And although his mother is murdered by the Emperor of Britannia, as a matter of fact, it's nothing personal. It's just the structure, right, of a hierarchical, domineering, imperialist system. It is the system that murders. It is the system, and this is made clear, right, that oppresses. And very quickly, Lelouch finds himself drawn into the national liberation struggle of the Japanese, right? And he becomes this figure who initially was simply looking for his own individual revenge, but now functions to abolish himself. And in abolishing himself, to abolish the entire imperial system. And what name does he take for his alter ego? Zero. And so, of course, this is only art, so obviously initially of dubious quality or importance, but it's worth noting the homologies of the revolutionary to the concept and notion of zero. And in fact, I believe it's an introduction to Hegel's Critique of Right, the proletariat is revolutionary because it doesn't seek to institute itself as a universal class or ruling class. But the very abolition of capitalism entails the abolition of the proletariat as such. That is to say, a revolutionary zero. Thank you.